The radiator, the whole thing is bashed and beaten in. I feel like I'm making progress. I'm excited. Look at the wing on this thing. $370 and Arco $299. Interesting art. Pop-up lights. Look at these. Pikachu. Other than that, we do have made some progress earlier in the day on PokeChat. So we've got the character creation stuff working, so you can join the game and then decide which region you're from, and then that will randomly give you a starter based on the region. Behind this building, you'll be able to see the stratosphere. Look at that. Look at it. Should we ride the rides on there? I don't think I've ever done that, actually. I think I've done like almost none of the Vegas stuff. I've been through the Circus stuff because that's pretty fun. Back in the day, they used to have some really cool arcades, but I'm not sure how it is now. If anybody's interested in like random strip content, let me know. Like, not me taking my clothes off, but like going on the strip and doing some of the touristy stuff. It's kind of like an MMO. I've been considering playing Pokemon Go down there because I think it would be pretty fun, and it's a really good way to farm up Pokeballs and stuff. But we made it. If you've been around the channel for a while, this driveway will be familiar because we replaced the DD's clutch here. We also worked on Edge's edge here. Well, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and remember to keep striving for your personal goals. There's times where I lose sight of myself and really break myself down, and I know others can feel the same way. You can feel lost or trapped inside your own mind, but remember that there is a path forward, and to always continue forward. Even if it feels like you're not progressing, if you can get through the day and you can remember where you are and where you want to go, you can move forward. So cheers to better days, and I'll see you tomorrow. Dudes! So we've made it back. Last night was interesting, and it was nice to hang out with my buddy, and you know, it's kind of like moving forward with the next chapters of my life. And same with Edge. He's doing something he's always wanted to do, and it's a beautiful thing, you know. Today I'm going to focus on PokeChat, and you know, we were able to hit our $700 goal, which means we're currently saving money to get to $1,000 in our savings before we start putting money in the foundation fund. So we should end our savings account this week at $450. So that's where we sit now, and we're gonna keep, like I said, progressing forward. Later today, hopefully we change the coolant in DD. Not gonna lie, I've been super lazy. We're getting through it though. We've got the server, we've got basically the subscription stuff set up. We've got our client. This is gonna let us use the client, basically send whispers and tells, and you know, the different encounters you can get into. The actual chat game itself is here. So like when you send commands to the thing, like if you send the mark command, it'll pull up, it'll tell you this, so you can purchase things like Pokeballs and Evo sodas, that kind of thing. And yeah, so we're still working through this. This is all the old code. I'm just transferring it over and rewriting it so I can fix things that I know are broken and remove. Well, I was working on this thing called Electron, which is like, brings up a GUI basically, and we don't need that. Morning, beautiful person. Hopefully you're doing well. If not, cheers to better days. They're on the horizon. You never know what tomorrow will bring. And today is a new day for us, and it's a new week as well. This is the first week of our training arc. So the community has voted for us to stay here in Vegas, and we will do that for the next probably 3 months, maybe 4. But the goal is to obtain enough money so we can become secure and have like a savings in case our car breaks or something happens, as well as get the money together so we can purchase a foundation. So a plot of land somewhere so we can start moving towards our goal of off-grid living. We're currently based here in our friend Mark's house, and we will be using his area to work out of and progress our other goals as we continue down this journey. This is my setup right now. We got a laptop with the TV, and I got my Switch here, and then we have this our sleeping situation. So we're nice and comfortable, and there's a lot of things going on. It's gonna take a while to kind of digest it all for myself as well, but I wanna make it easy for you to follow along, and so we can progress on this journey together. So a few key things that we're working towards. I'm, like I said, saving for our foundation, but before we do that, we're getting our emergency fund and base savings together. So we're currently sitting at $400 in our savings fund, and then we have $90 in our foundation fund. So we're not gonna fund any more into the foundation until after we've gotten this one to $1,200. And then I'd like it to be closer to $2,000. So in case, something with the car happens, we can purchase a new car. But for now, we're just gonna try to get it to $1,200, and then we'll start adding to the foundation fund. Worst case scenario, we'll have to pull it out and do that. But our car's running good right now, and hopefully there aren't any issues. Other than that, we're working on starting a live show. The live show is called PokeCircuit, and it's our next reality game. We will be playing a game of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee with our friend Koopa. We're going to be doing this live with a set of rules, and these rules will force us to do things in the game. Something that goes along with that is this game here called PokeChat. So I'm a game developer as well, if you didn't know. And so this is a game I developed for Twitch chat, which allows Twitch users to capture Pokemon in the chat. So you can, when you're in chat, you can say, hey, I want to be a trainer. And then after you set up to become a trainer, you select which region you are, and you're randomly given a starter. Then as you hang out and chat, you earn points. You can use those points to go to the tall grass or sky zone or water zone. And in those different zones, you have the ability to encounter Pokemon, and then you can throw balls at the Pokemon until you catch them, and then they become yours. You're also able to do things like purchase new balls, purchase trade tokens, which lets you trade with other players, and then do a thing called a box flex, which basically just dumps all of the Pokemon you own in your box out onto the chat, just to show your Pokemon catching supremacy. Now, I worked on that game years ago in 2018, and I had been trying to iterate on it like every so often between now and then. And the thing is, I was overcomplicating it and doing a lot more than I needed to, trying to hook onto this thing called Electron, which basically is a GUI system, and it does a bunch of other things, but for our purposes, I was using it so I could display a window and then let other people do different things, like see their trainer and all that. We're really not doing that. I'm cutting it down to the bare minimum, and the goal is just to try to release something that is interesting that can be played inside Twitch chat. I personally will not be streaming on Twitch as of right now. I may change my mind in the future on that, but the goal is to give this to Koopa to help him grow his channel a little bit. He's just hit 100 subscribers on Twitch, and I'd like to see PokeCircuit help move the needle for him on his content. So throughout this week, I'll be continuing to work on that, and we plan on having our live stream on Friday. It's currently Tuesday, so whether or not PokeChat will be in the first live stream or not is just up to whether I get it done, but I'm gonna keep working on it until it's done, and then from there we will pass it over to Koopa, and if you want to check it out, you can go to his stream and do that. Our next major objective after PokeChat is to work on the After Earth Arcade website. Goals for the website are to create something that has a shop and links to the YouTube content, and is a place where I can start to put a blog up and further expand the content. So like we mentioned before, I'm a game developer, and one of the things that I'd like to do is put my games on my website. Currently, they're hosted on itch, and to be honest, I'm not really happy with a lot of my games. Some of it comes from self-hate and just being down on myself. Another good section of it comes from my lack of confidence in myself as anything really. And this whole period of time with My Cartoon Life and Road Trip Quest and all the other content that we've been producing. What's also given me a lot of inspiration and courage has been the growing amount of people who have been following and commenting along and encouraging me on my journey. And I really appreciate that. I know like the foundation of, I know there's a lot of different things we do here. Automotive and car stuff is always going to be a part of the channel, as well as like game development, and eventually we will work on the Speeduino as well. These are all things that we are working towards, and I know that, you know, I've been saying that for the last 6 to 8 months, but if you've noticed, it might be slow, but we have made progression. We are currently now working on PokeCircuit. There are a few other things I'd like to integrate. Like I said, I have long-term goals with the Speeduino, and it involves things like Internet of Things technology, ESP32s, Arduinos, and other things like that. So I hope you will join me on this journey as we continue to progress and evolve as game developers and people. You know, one of the things I've learned throughout this time period about myself is that I really enjoy making these videos, and it feels like a way for me to connect with people. I want to inspire and encourage others and show people that they can do something with nothing. I'm not a very intelligent person, I'm just a persistent one. I've learned to code on my own, I learned to work on cars on my own. I built Didi into an RV and we traveled the whole country with it. So there's a lot of things you can do with the tools that you have, as long as you have the courage. And you know, I feel like it's common for people to beat themselves up or stop progressing on their projects, or putting themselves in a mindset that prevents them from moving forward, because that's what I do to myself. And I just want to show the breaking through of that. This last week for me has been pretty difficult. I've beaten myself down a lot, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do that. I want to evolve and grow past it. And I hope that I can bring some sort of joy and inspiration to your life, because you bring joy and inspiration to my life. So $73.75, a little after 6 now, and we made some good progress on PokeChat. It's 107, so it's the hottest part of the day. And I think before we start dashing, we are gonna change the coolant, but not here, somewhere else. I got my sunglasses. All right, let's do it. Been found. Zaid 32133. Brian Kennedy, Yander Bantance. Welcome to the arcade. And Eddie's a member now. Maybe it's placebo, but the car feels faster. More buttery. It's 10:40 now, and I was about to complain because like it's not doing so great, you know. We're at like $25, which is just not that great. But we did just get a $9 order to Teriyaki Madness, so I mean that's gonna help a bit. That'll put us a little over halfway. Okay, great. So it's 110. And we made 65 bucks. So we beat our goal, and yeah. So now we're gonna go back to Mark's camp, and we're gonna work on PokeChat. Okay, well, we managed to do it. So we're currently headed back to base camp to work on, well, I think we're gonna try to finish PokeChat tonight. I'm not too sure. Actually, Blaze hit us up and they were like, gave me their friend code, so we might trade them the Ponyta we made for them in the other episode. So I don't know if we'll actually get any work done on PokeChat, but also I now have AA Meals address and information about their car, and it just so happens that a 2008 hatch, red hatch, is in the junkyard here in Vegas. So I'm gonna try to get my happy butt up early tomorrow and go grab them the charcoal canister. So if you want to see if we do that, then check it out in the next video. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. It's encouraging and inspiring to have people who want to see me do well and are hanging out with me, pushing me forward. If you're working on a project or striving for a personal goal, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I really want to accomplish my goals, and I want to see other people accomplish their goals as well. Oh yeah, this is ridiculous. That guy just literally ran a stop sign and hit us, and now our car is leaking. I don't know why I came back to Vegas. Now we're gonna be stuck here. Luckily, it actually seems to be handling fine. I think what happened is the car got to the crash bar and then stopped, and it didn't hit our wheel. Like, it literally clipped the front part where the headlight is and the fender and the bumper, and smashed the bumper into the crash bar. So if it only really hit that bumper part into the crash bar and didn't, like, I don't know. But I'm gonna max out the heat, so, because like we are leaking coolant, so I don't want to overheat the vehicle or whatever. Man, I'm so stressed out. The drip, it's coming from the hose, not the radiator. You know, I'm stressed out and upset, to be honest, but it could have been worse, you know? Like, we could have lost our life. They could have lost their life. Whatever, you know? Like, my side hurts pretty bad because, like, the impact was hard, you know? I think they were going like 45 or something. Luckily, I wasn't going very fast, and I slammed on my brakes as soon as I saw them blowing through the stop sign. Part of me, like, for a split second, I thought about just flooring it, and I didn't, which I'm glad now in rethinking about it that I didn't, because had I done that, he would have probably hit the back of my car or the side of my car, and we would have been really screwed. Honestly, if it had hit anywhere else, like if I had just gone a little bit further, or, you know, obviously if I had stopped sooner, it would have been better. I wouldn't have been hit, but if I had stopped a little later, then it would have hit the wheels, and hitting the wheels would have smashed in the axles and would have done a lot more damage. The car is surprisingly drivable right now, and I feel like we can fix it. I'm not sure, but that's what I feel like. We have a lot of work to do right now, including, like, tomorrow we're supposed to be doing the PokeCircuit stream, you know, and I'm like really close to finishing PokeChat, and it's just fucking frustrating, like, to be honest, because I've been working so hard for all of these things, and today was supposed to be like a freaking good day, you know. I didn't even record that much because, like I said, today was supposed to be the day where we get everything ready for PokeChat and get everything ready to start PokeCircuit. And yeah, I know I'm full of adrenaline right now and my body's gonna hurt like hell tomorrow, but we're just gonna keep moving forward. Like I said, it's kind of the silver lining here is that we need to go to the junkyard anyways to get the charcoal canister for A. And yeah, Edge is gonna pick us up tomorrow, and if we need a new radiator, we should be able to pick a new radiator, but it seems like it might just be the hoses and some clips, but I'll assess it more later tonight. Yeah, from what I can tell, everything kind of flexed out this way and then kind of settled itself back, because you can even see here, there's a damage there, which means this bar moved up against this bar, and it's hard to see
but you see the top of the pulley nut has some shaving on it. It contacted with the side of the wall.